Renner is the new film that surprisingly doesn't star Jeremy Renner. Instead, we've got Frankie Muniz and Violett Beane in a claustrophobic thriller. So let's jump in. Renner, a reclusive computer genius driven by a need for control, designs an AI named Salenus to help him overcome his crippling social anxieties and find love. Encouraged by Salenus, Renner forms a connection with his alluring neighbor Jamie, but their relationship starts to unravel when she begins to interact with the AI. So having AI-themed stories isn't anything novel, especially today. But for this movie, the artificial intelligence has some inherent insight into its creator, placed in the code subconsciously. Now, Frankie Muniz is Renner, and I was really impressed at how he sets the stage for his character. He's rigid, obsessive-compulsive, possibly agoraphobic, and then consumed by cleanliness and routine. And plus, thanks to all of these traits, he's incredibly awkward around anybody. I mean, it's like his social anxiety has been turned up way past 11, and then he kind of glitches out and freezes in any type of interpersonal situation. It's uncomfortable to watch Renner as he stresses about his daily routine. Everything is measured exactly to not only not waste time or resources, but also to maintain symmetry within all parts of his appearance. And his rituals before he can even leave his house, they're nerve-wracking. I mean, I love that the film takes the time to show us his hypervigilance to his daily procedures, so we can get a real sense of how tightly wound this guy is and how uncomfortable he could make anybody. I mean, he'd be a nightmare to live with. Anytime you sat on the couch and then caused a wrinkle in the fabric, he'd be swarming around you to straighten it and steam clean it for germs. There's a point in the movie where somebody picks up one of his records, and you can just see him squirming inside. I mean, it's utter torment that somebody is first touching his things and then just haphazardly handling them without the exact same care and concern that he would use. And Muniz is excellent in what he's delivering. While Renner is difficult to watch and then frustrating to endure, he's also very endearing. I mean, I found myself feeling sorry for him. He was trapped within his own routines, and despite him being miserable, he couldn't break out of them. And to be able to make a character that you dislike but also want to hug at the same time, it's tricky, but Muniz pulls it off nicely. And then there's Violett Beane as Jamie, Renner's hot next-door neighbor. Now, it's obvious right from the start that he has got a crush on her, and Beane creates a calming and accommodating personality that doesn't judge Renner's quirks, instead, though, comforts and doesn't pressure, just allowing him to ease into a comfort zone. And Jamie has a brother also, played by Taylor Gray. Right from the start, this dude is a D-bag. I mean, he's easy to hate because Gray mixes rude indifference with passive-aggressive teasing, instantly just making him a bully to Renner. Now, all throughout this, we're watching Renner interact with the AI that he created, named Salenus. And the story shows us right from the start that while the software is designed to assist and build confidence, it's intrusive. It has this creepy aura to it, despite it being inanimate and artificial. And for a lot of the story, there's undefined dysfunction between Renner and Salenus, but it all makes perfect sense once we get more glimpses into who Renner is. Now, I loved the repeating imagery of Renner's schedule. Each aspect of his daily routine, it's cut together in quick succession and then duplicated over and over and over again. Sounds tiring, but it's not. I mean, it works to place us inside Renner's head and puts us on the crazy cycle with him. And the technique gets used several different times throughout the storytelling, each time showing us a little bit more of how Renner is changing. Some show him relaxing a bit on some of his activities. Others demonstrate that, like a junkie, he crashes hard and then needs to return to the rigidness in order to get his fix. But despite loving this method of the narrative, the story complication that is introduced is extremely obvious, making the wait between us knowing and then the reveal excruciating long. I was bummed that from the instant that we're shown an interaction, which is really early on in the movie, the plot attempts to misdirect and fool us. But the writing is such that you can't help but know what it's trying to conceal. And for as much of a downer as this can be, I was willing to overlook it a bit because as the film reaches its climax, things go a bit unhinged and twisted. Now, for 3/4 of the story, it's an awkward but peaceful relationship drama. And then it snaps and becomes something else entirely. And I liked this. I mean, not only was the shock a nice surprise, but the imagery that we're shown through practical effects, they're gruesome. I mean, I winced more than a couple of times just thanks to what we're shown. And then, in a writing decision I can't even begin to fathom, another twist comes about, and honestly, it was kind of like a death knell for the story. There is an intense conflict, where our characters are kind of in this will they or won't they type of scenario. Thanks to the dialogue and even the direction for the actors, we are led to believe a certain outcome was going to happen, or at least a vague understanding of how it could go. But then, no, quick moment, story's done. Every action and look from the actors takes us down this certain path, only to completely belie what we're shown. I mean, it's almost like the writers didn't know how to end their story, so they chose an option that just makes zero sense from the rest of the arc. Now, if they were attempting to be shocking or maybe counterintuitive, they did that. But for me, it just wasn't effective at all. So overall, Renner features an outstanding performance by Frankie Muniz, drawing us into his obsessive psyche and allowing us to experience the same mind effery he does. The editing and visuals work to envelop us into the crazy-making routines, making us go slightly mad along with the title character. And while the discomfort and anxiety that's built by the story is effective and engaging, the writing hampers the suspense. First by showing us an obvious twist way too early, and then by creating a conclusion that makes us question the writer's competence. The concept is fun, and it leads to some unexpected brutality, but that can't save the film from the lackluster portions of the script. There's no sex or nudity, a lot of profanity, and some savage violence. I give Renner 2.5 out of 5 couches. And if you want to feel uncomfortable, but in a good way, watch this for Muniz's performance. That's it, though. All right, have you watched any good sci-fi thrillers lately? I would love to hear about what you watched in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.